when the question is trying to focus you on a specific idea, just make sure you have that idea in mind, right? Gibson's approach to art, what are we getting about that? So they might describe Gibson in some way, but I really want to know what his approach to art is. Let's just take a look at the text then and talk about his approach. So Choctaw Cherokee artist Jeffrey Gibson turns punching bags used by boxers into art by decorating them with beadwork and elements of native dressmaking. These elements include leather fringes and jingles, the metal cones that covered the dresses worn in the jingle dance, a women's dance of the Ojibwa people. Thus, Gibson combines an object commonly associated with masculinity, so masculine object, with art forms traditionally practiced by women, combines, in most Native communities, beadwork and dressmaking. In this way, he rejects the division of male and female gender roles, right? So we're basically looking for something that kind of summarizes that. He rejects the tradition. So A, he draws from traditional Native art forms to create his original work. Well, that's true, but it's very specifically about the rejection of the gender stuff. So this is true, but it's not hitting the main idea that we need. So it's missing a lot here. B, he finds inspiration from boxing and designing the dresses he makes. Again, it's kind of like hitting on it a little bit, but it's much more about this kind of traditional gender role being rejected. C, he rejects expectations about color and pattern when incorporating beadwork. Well, no, there's a little trap there, right? Rejects. I got excited for a second. D, he has been influenced by Native and non-Native artists equally. Oh, well, that's wrong too. Ooh, okay. This happens rarely, but sometimes I eliminate everything. So we're going to keep this as a teaching moment here. What is the answer? So he describes his approach to art. So D is definitely wrong. He's been influenced by Native and non. It's not about who's influencing him. So that's definitely wrong. Let me just make sure I'm getting C right here. He rejects expectations about color and pattern when incorporating his beadwork. Well, it's not about color and pattern, right? It's about the mixing of these things. Maybe the color and pattern is like code for the women, and then they're rejecting that. That still feels like a trap. I still feel like they're using that against us. Let me look at A and B again. He draws from traditional Native art forms to create his original works. Yeah, okay. He finds inspiration from boxing in designing the dresses he makes. Well, no, because he's not making dresses, right? He's not making dresses. He's making punching bags that look like dresses. So he doesn't make dresses. That's just totally wrong too. He draws from traditional Native art forms to create. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. That feels like it's missing stuff. But remember, I said that at the beginning, right? It's true, but it feels like it's missing things. So, I mean, I guess that is just going to have to be how it works, is that we just get a choice that is more vague than all the stuff that we got in the passage. And that does happen. That definitely happens. In fact, that's usually how it goes, is that the right answer is a more general, more vague version of what they're saying. I thought for sure they'd bring this piece in at the bottom here. But yeah, they don't. I don't think A mentions that really at all. I thought that was going to be a big piece, but I was just wrong. But all the others are very sneaky. I see what they're doing is they're using the right words, but they're doing it in a way that kind of connects them incorrectly, right? So choice B is the best example of that. He finds inspiration from boxing in designing the dresses he makes. Well, they talk about dresses, they talk about boxing, he's talking about what he makes, talk about inspiration, but it's very subtle that he doesn't actually make dresses. They don't say that. He's coloring or adorning these punching bags. So that's very sneaky of them to do. They're hoping we don't notice that kind of stuff. But this is just a great example of why you can't jump to conclusions. And you have to be thorough with the choices. I was very sure that A was wrong, but I went through every choice and I applied the same level of scrutiny on each choice that I had applied to A. And it turned out that they all kind of failed. And so I had to kind of lower my level of scrutiny a little bit and re-examine these choices. And sure enough, I was able to find the right answer. It is A, to confirm. Choice A is the answer. But you can't do what I see a lot of my students do, which is they get rid of A, they get rid of B, they get rid of C, and then D is left, and they barely even look at it. It's just all that's left, so I might as well pick it. You can't do that, right? Sometimes we're wrong. Sometimes we fall for a trap early on. And so we always have to treat choice D the same way we treated choice A. It could be right, it could be wrong. The order could flip, and we don't want the fact that the choice is last to be kind of like what makes us pick it. You have to be thorough with all four choices so that you don't lose points on something like this.